The actions of a Fort Myers police officer under scrutiny over this undercover video from inside a massage parlor.
Keeping track of your kids is one thing, keeping them safe is another. The local company that says it's come up with a watch that can let you track and protect them.
Ink alert! More than 100 Southwest Florida tattoo shops failed inspections. What to look out for to make sure you're getting a tat safely.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Get ready for a wet Wednesday. The rain chances for Southwest Florida going up overnight. A live look at Storm Shield 4 Doppler radar right now. And thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Jane Monreal. It's going to get more active. We are joined by Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley. When can we expect all of this action, Derek?
Well, guys, looks like the rain is going to start picking up after midnight tonight and continue through at least the first half of tomorrow. So it looks like a wet Wednesday shaping up here across Southwest Florida. Now, there's really not much going on right now. The green that you see there, it is not rain, but we are tracking some showers and storms offshore. You can see on the left side of your screen. And that is going to continue pushing towards the coast here for tonight and actually increase in coverage as the night goes on. Temperature is still holding into the 60s and 70s, so it's going to be a very warm and humid night across the area. Expect wet weather for your morning commute. You need to plan a little extra time to get where you're going. Maybe leave the house about an hour and a half a little earlier than what you normally would, as we're expecting those showers and storms around. We're going to time the rain out for you, let you know how much we're expecting and how long it will last in your Storm Shield forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Happening tonight, this video at the center of questions about the actions of a Fort Myers police captain at a massage parlor 6 years ago.
That's right. We have confirmed this is an active internal investigation involving Captain Jay Rodriguez. That's over allegations from a fired officer who claims it shows Rodriguez engaging in sexual misconduct while undercover. I'm breaking down what's in the video. According to the police report from a prostitution investigation back in March of 2013, then Lieutenant Jay Rodriguez went in for an hour massage and removed all his clothing but his underwear. The report explains the female masseuse reached around and grabbed Rodriguez's genitals. The report goes on to say Rodriguez agreed to the sex act but left after that. The massage parlor was shut down soon after the investigation and 2 arrests were made. However, the video released to Fox 4 seems to show something else. From the audio and visuals we can't show you, it seems the sexual act was performed. Fox 4 worked to get official comments on this allegation all day. We reached out to the Fort Myers Police Department to hear what Chief Derek Diggs had to say. However, officials said we should contact the city for a comment. So we did just that. But after reaching out to multiple people from the city, including Fort Myers Mayor Randy Henderson and the city manager and attorney, the only thing they would say is that, quote, there is an active investigation. The city cannot comment at this time. Councilman Johnny Streets did comment in a statement saying people in Fort Myers need truth and transparency. He went on to say, quote, the citizens of the city of Fort Myers deserve better, and particularly women and men in blue don't deserve this. Let's do it right and find out what went wrong. We also called, emailed, and texted the man at the center of all this, Captain Rodriguez, for a comment. His response through text message was simply, quote, I can't, sorry.
The former officer who provided that video has a history of conflict with Captain Rodriguez and the department. In 2011, O'Neill Kerr was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. The charge was dropped. He was fired, then reinstated. Kerr went on to sue the then chief and the whole department for discrimination. Last year, he was fired after something else happened, and then he filed a complaint against Captain Rodriguez.
The state attorney's office says Rodriguez is not under any criminal investigation at this time.
But 4 in Your Corner's Adam Pinsker has been speaking with the former prosecutor from the state attorney's office. In fact, he ran for state attorney. He worked with Rodriguez, and he's arguing that Rodriguez should be headed for jail.
And could be facing felony charges if, in fact, he did use department funds to pay for a prostitute. So, Chris Crowley ran for state attorney, as you said, last year, losing to current state attorney Amir Fox. Before that, he was a prosecutor for 16 years. Now he's calling on the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate this case.
I find it shocking. I had cases with Jay Rodriguez years ago when he was just on road patrol.
You worked with him?
Yep. including on a prostitution case.
And former prosecutor Chris Crowley says he knew Fort Myers Police Captain Jay Rodriguez overstepped his bounds during the 2013 undercover sting after a video surfaced of Rodriguez allegedly engaging in a sex act with a prostitute.
I was involved prosecuting a sting with Cape Coral officers years ago, and they would stop at a certain point and make the arrest, or have the other officers walk in to keep the cover of the other officer. But you're not supposed to actually complete the deed.
Crowley says only if an undercover officer's life is in jeopardy is when they should take it a step further, but he says Rodriguez didn't appear to be threatened.
It's still wrong for Jay Rodriguez to have done what he did on the tape.
And he says Rodriguez could face felony charges if he used police department funds to pay for sex with the prostitute. Crowley says if FMPD knew about what Rodriguez did before the tape leaked, it could make the department look bad.
This is from 2013, and it seems like nobody wanted to do anything.
And Crowley says other cases Rodriguez handled could come into question if he is criminally investigated for this incident. In the studio, Adam Pinsker, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Adam. This is not the first time the Fort Myers Police Department has been at the center of controversy. In 2015, local NFL star Nate Allen was wrongfully arrested by Fort Myers police. Officers accused him of a crime he didn't commit. But even so, the department recommended the state attorney's office prosecute him. The state attorney at the time slammed the police, questioning the legality of how they handled the whole thing. Allen went on to sue the city of Fort Myers. The city agreed to pay him $440,000.
And it was Nate Allen's arrest that prompted an investigation into the Fort Myers Police Department. The Free report finding a culture of corruption, protection of officers accused of wrongdoing, leaking of information to criminals, witness murders, and drug trafficking rings being allowed to operate.
Now, the former Fort Myers Police Chief Doug Baker was fired as a result of Nate Allen's arrest. The then city manager, Billy Mitchell, questioned the chief's integrity after an internal investigation showed there were discrepancies in the chief's own account of what he did and said the night Nate Allen was arrested. A student at Lehigh Senior High School is accused of bringing fentanyl, cocaine, and pot to school. Deputies say 18-year-old Ayanna Felix had 18 bags of fentanyl, 21 bags of cocaine, and 8 bags of marijuana in his backpack at school. The sheriff's office saying, quote, illegal drugs in a school is no less dangerous than guns in a school. We are thankful for the Crime Stoppers tip that came in, so these drugs are now out of the schools and off our streets. Also tonight, deputies have arrested a 14-year-old girl in connection with a pepper spray incident that happened at a school dance in Lehigh Acres last week. Happened at Hips Elementary on Friday night. 12 people, including 10 children, ended up in the hospital after they were exposed to that pepper spray. The teenager was arrested and accused of possession of a weapon on school property.
Cape Coral Police addressing the rising number of school threats we've seen in the past week. Police say since the beginning of the school year, there have been 47 fake threats, verbally, written, and on social media. Cape Coral arrested 3 students since last week. Lee County Superintendent Greg Atkins spoke about the consequences, mental health, and how these actions have impacted people.
These types of actions scare people. I mean, people are scared, and parents are afraid to send their kid to school, and understandably so, if a threat has been made. And so what that does is unnecessarily and negatively impacts people.
Atkins says with the Parkland anniversary, security is expected to be heightened throughout the district. And tonight we're learning about a second threat, this time at Riverdale High School. It happened last week. The principal sent out a message to parents telling them about a note found in a bathroom saying Columbine V2. According to the message, the threat was found to be not credible.
Florida could expand a law allowing some teachers to carry guns in schools. The State Senate Education Committee approved a bill today that would make all teachers eligible for the program. The current law only allows armed teachers if they've got a role outside the classroom, like a sports coach. But this bill would change that requirement. School districts would have to approve arming teachers and volunteers, and they would have to undergo special training.
As we look in on the Capitol tonight, President Trump says he's not happy with the funding bill that could prevent a government shutdown on Friday. Lawmakers from both parties agreed to the bill, which gives President Trump a fraction of the money he wants for his wall. The president told reporters He's not satisfied with the bill, but he'd add to it. He said he doesn't see another government shutdown happening, but says he will build the border wall.
Information for you tonight that can save your skin from sketchy tattoo jobs. How to make sure your artist is safe and legit after we found out more than 100 local shops failed their inspections.
You want the healthiest produce for your family, but is the extra money for organic really worth it? Fox 4 is doing the homework for you.
It's 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? The Southwest Florida company that's got a watch that can answer that question for you. Next.
Bram.
Wearable technology is so common, right, for so many of us. Now some local brothers say they've come up with a way to harness this tech power to keep your kids safe.
4 in your corner, Shari Armstrong shows us how.
Apps help us to keep track of our phone and our cars. And now one Southwest Florida company says they've got one to help keep track of kids.
You may not want to be a helicopter parent, but you might want to just be aware of where your child is.
Dallas Vasquez and his brother Anthony say their iGPS watch helps parents to do just that. It's a smartwatch for kids to wear and for parents to know where they are.
You're going to know that something's wrong much faster than you would if they were not wearing a device like this.
The brothers say the app lets parents create a geofence around areas your child should be, like school, home, or the soccer field.
You have the geofence set up in the app, you'll get a notification, boom, right to your cell phone. Child has left the geofence.
They say the iGPS watch is different from others like it on the market because parents don't have to work with a phone provider to set it up. They say in just a few steps, including setting up a username and password to protect private information, it's ready to use.
We're able to be the leading innovator in the space.
Innovation that's getting national attention. Startup Magazine recognized the Fort Myers headquartered company as one of the nation's most promising wearable tech startups. The brothers say they're also developing a similar device for seniors.
The opportunity that Florida poses to a technology company is just as good as California right now.
In Fort Myers, I'm Shari Armstrong, Fox 4, in your corner.
The brothers also tell Shari they're developing similar device for seniors. In fact, wearable tech for seniors with Alzheimer's was their first entrepreneurial venture.
More than $21,000 was raised for shelter animals right here in Southwest Florida. A packed house last night at Bruno's of Brooklyn for the Cannolis Cops and Canines event. Officials from the Lee County Sheriff's Office and Fort Myers Police Department cooked up some of the tasty dishes. There was also an auction, door prizes, and raffle baskets. And all the proceeds will go to the Gulf Coast Humane Society.
All right, how many push-ups can you do? 19's the magic number tonight. Today marks the kickoff for the Push-Up for the Blue Challenge in honor of fallen officers.
So Patrick, meteorologist Cindy Pressler, along with myself, took part in this challenge to do 19 push-ups to honor the 16 officers and the 3 canines killed in the line of duty so far this year. Take a look.
16,
17,
17,
18,
How about a good chaturanga after your 9?
I'm just gonna go into downward dog here.
Oh, I'm gonna do a little flow. That's enough.
And then a little upward dog.
That's enough. And then I'm gonna.
Do we make it?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's sore right away. High fives. You may have not noticed, Derek did not do any of the push-ups, but that's because of a bad shoulder.
But yeah, I know.
But I
was
posted
there
the
in
whole
spirit.
video. Yes, absolutely. And then he comes in like, really, right at the tail end of our push-ups.
I was
like,
just coincidentally, but
Yeah.
if I could have done it with one arm, I could have.
That'll be your 2020 New Year's resolution.
yeah, G.I. Jane action there.
But
it's
yes,
okay.
all for a good cause. And
That's
great.
right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Got some rain on the way.
I know.
Yeah, for tomorrow morning. We desperately need some more, so it'd be great to get that, but it could cause some issues here for your morning commute. Let's talk about what's going on right now. And right now we're not tracking any rain yet. The green that you see on the radar is what we call chaff, and sometimes we see it here in South Florida on the radar. Nothing to be concerned about, but we are tracking rain offshore. And you can see this rain that is just kind of spreading its way towards the Southwest Florida coast now. It doesn't look quite as healthy as it did earlier with lots of lightning strikes out there. There's still a few, and these will continue pressing their way towards the coast. So you get the idea. The coverage will increase as the night goes on, and so it looks a little wet here for your morning commute. And really, for the most part, The first half of the day tomorrow looks a little nasty, and then things should start drying out here by tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. We're pretty muggy out there. Moorhaven and Clewiston, you guys got some rain earlier, so temperature's a little bit cooler there, 69 in Moorhaven, but low to mid-70s elsewhere. Chances for rain, though, on the increase here for tomorrow morning. So just plan on a wet weather for your morning commute through lunchtime and likely into early afternoon as well before this all starts to wind down. You can see the storms that fired up earlier. You can see them popping up east of Highway 29 and pressing their way quickly. But what we're waiting for is a cold front. This is back towards the west. You can see all the showers and storms that are developing with the cold front as it moves its way across the Gulf, and some of that moisture is going to be spreading into our area here overnight tonight. So let's take a look at Predictor and kind of time this out for you so you can get an idea of when it's going to be raining. And notice things are pretty quiet now, but as the night goes on, we will see an increase in the activity, particularly after about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and that should continue through your morning commute. And this is going to be mainly consisting of some thunder and lightning and a little bit of heavy rain as well. Don't expect anything severe. Could get a little noisy at times, but we're just expecting mainly a steady rain as this pushes through. And notice the coverage, though, decreases quickly after lunchtime. So from northwest to southeast, the rain should move away. Clouds stick around, though, through tomorrow evening, so I'm really not expecting a lot of sun. And as a result of that, the temperatures are going to be cooler, much cooler tomorrow than what we've seen over the past several days. Only in the mid-60s for highs. And then it's going to get downright chilly, at least compared to where we've been. By Thursday morning, we're looking at low temperatures into the low 50s by the time you wake up for Valentine's Day morning. Here's the GFS model, and we've got several that we choose from, and this one seems to be the most reasonable as far as what type of predicted rainfall totals. And I think that a good chunk of Southwest Florida will see a solid inch out of this, so that'll be definitely good. That'll certainly put us in the positive category, at least for the month. So temperatures for tonight, down in the low to mid-60s. Showers and storms developing late tonight and then continuing through tomorrow. 68 for a high. That may be a bit generous. We could end up cooler than that. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see the rain chances start to wrap up by early tomorrow afternoon, down to 53 for Thursday morning, and then it looks like we warm right back up, though, around 80 for highs as early as Friday afternoon, but certainly by the weekend.
How to find affordable housing in Collier County is tough. And Collier commissioners met this morning and talked about ways to pave the way for more modestly priced housing, eventually voting to allow an increase in the number of housing units from 8 units per acre to 12. But Commissioner Donna Fiala says she's seen a number of vacant rental units vacation season, and citing that as a reason why the county shouldn't allow too much housing to be built.
If we put all of these extra units in the market and people are already having trouble renting it, is it really the thing to do now?
Zillow says the median home value in Collier is more than $100,000 more than Florida's average.
New hints tonight from the judges on The Masked Singer, what they're revealing about who's really singing those tunes on the show.
But first, Homeless on Sesame Street, how the classic kids show is tackling a situation a growing number of our local kids are now living through. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Guaranteed.
Sesame Street is addressing one of the biggest issues kids facing today, or are facing today rather, homelessness. In an attempt to lessen the stigma and teach kids to show empathy and compassion, Sesame Street is now bringing a new storyline to discuss tough topics at home. Lily's a 7-year-old Muppet. Her family is staying with friends after they lost their home. With more than 2.5 million children experiencing homelessness nationwide every year, Sesame Street says it was important to implement this new initiative for their 50th season.
How do we have compassion and empathy for everyone at all times, whether they're experiencing something difficult or, as you just heard, being wonderful friends?
Sesame Street is providing resources on its website to support children and families experiencing homelessness. You can log on to sesamestreetincommunities.org for more information. We also want to hear from you and tell us what you think about one of Sesame Street's Muppets experiencing homelessness. 239-206-FOX4, or email us at news@fox4now, or just talk to us on Facebook.
Some are calling him the next Usain Bolt, the 7-year-old Floridian running so fast he's getting the attention of big-name athletes like LeBron James. But first, how safe is your tat shop? Fox 4 looking into it after more than 100 local shops fail inspections. What to keep an eye out for next on Fox 4 News at 10.
Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
You may not be as safe as you think, or at least you'd like to be, when you're getting a tattoo in Southwest Florida. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Patrick Nolan.
And I'm Jane Monreal. 4 in Your Corner found out in the past year, nearly 100 tattoo parlors in our area failed the state health inspection. Our Jillian Hartman spoke with a local tattoo shop on the requirements they must meet and the red flags you need to look out for.
Dirty needles, unsanitary workspace, and unlicensed artists. Those are the kind of violations the state health department looks for during inspections at tattoo shops.
You know, just like any business you have, there's going to be people that follow the law strictly for the benefit of their business and their customers, and there's going to be other people who cut corners.
Cutting corners, state health officials explain, are more than 85 tattoo shops in our area. That's just over a quarter of the total shops in Southwest Florida. The Department of Health listed them as unsatisfactory, meaning the violation was a significant threat to public health and sanitation.
Cross-contamination is serious.
We talked to Will Anthony, the owner of After Inked, the Guest Spot in Port Charlotte. Now, he's been in the business for about 30 years.
We have never personally had a problem with our health inspector. We've never had a violation.
He showed us around his shop to share with us the OSHA standards that all shops are required to meet.
We are 100% disposable, so all our needles come pre-sterilized.
He added artists need to wear gloves so bacteria or infections don't spread. He says tattoo licenses are also required to be displayed. And believe it or not, it's really easy to get one in Florida.
Basically, you watch a 3-hour bloodborne pathogen video and apply for your license.
The state says each tattoo shop that is unsatisfactory has until the next inspection to fix the violation. So there are some things you need to know about before you get a tattoo. When you walk into a shop, make sure the place is clean and do your research. Look up the artist and shop online. Now, before you get a tattoo, make sure the artist is using sterilized needles. Now, when it comes down to it, trust the artist, because at the end of the day, what they're doing is permanent. For more information, just head over to our website at fox4now.com. In Port Charlotte, I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Jillian. Thursday is going to mark 1 year since the school shooting in Parkland, where 17 students, and we're showing you their faces all week, were killed inside Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Just heartbreaking. Chris Welch shows us how those lost are being remembered in unique ways.
Alyssa Alhadeff was just 14 years old.
And I told her I loved her. And she got out of the car, and that was the last time that I would talk to Alyssa.
This year, Alyssa's mom, Lori, wrote a letter to the daughter she's now lived without for a whole year. Last Valentine's Day was the last time I saw you, she writes. I remember you weren't looking forward to going to school that day. Like many 14-year-old girls, you wanted a Valentine and were disappointed that you didn't have one. She also describes in the letter how her grief emboldens her to fight for change. Manuel Oliver has also turned the loss of his son Joaquin into a passion for change.
We started this organization to empower the kids and help them get the changes they're demanding for.
Oliver is an artist, and tonight his latest project, Walls of Demand, will open to the public in the nation's capital.
We found a way to give Joaquin a voice. This is not me being an artist. This is Joaquin being an activist.
Oliver is now working to change the nation's gun laws. And down in South Florida, the final touches are being put on the Temple of Time. It's a 35-foot sculpture of plywood meant to be a place where people can leave their pain. It'll open on Thursday. A few months later, it'll be destroyed, burned to the ground. The idea? That the pain will wash away with it.
What I hope is that someone who's having a hard time sleeping will be able to rest well. Okay? That's all. That's what I would hope.
But as for Alyssa Alhadeff's mom, Lori, she closes her letter with this: I just want you back. I'm Chris Welch.
And on Thursday, vigils will be held across the state to remember those lost, including at least one right here in Southwest Florida. In Collier County, it's at the Naples Pier from 5 to 6 p.m. If you plan to attend, you are asked to bring a candle.
The Florida State Capitol building in Tallahassee will be lit up orange for the remainder of the week to remember those killed in the shooting. The city of Parkland designated Thursday as a day of service and love to pay homage to the victims.
If you want to spice up the back of your car, you'll soon have new options for specialty license plates in Florida. The state legislature considering 5 new plates, 2 animal-themed ones promoting honeybees and the gopher tortoise. The Orlando United plate would pay for mental health counseling for survivors of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. A Highwaymen plate would help fund the Highwaymen Museum and African American Cultural Center, and another would recognize ethical tourism in Florida. Money from the plate sales would be split between the Florida Society for Ethical Ecotourism in Fort Myers and Paddle Florida Incorporated in Gainesville. There have been more than 300,000 hit-and-run crashes in just over 3 years in Florida. And this morning, Florida Highway Patrol addressed the growing number of those crashes in our part of the state. Troopers say Lee County was 8th in the state out of 67 counties when it came to the number of these kinds of crashes last year. And they actually had some family members of some of the victims to remind you about the real cost of these crashes.
I know that there's people out there that know what happened. And Nikki was a person. She deserves this. She deserves answers.
Now, troopers have also named a person of interest in that hit-and-run crash that killed an Immokalee woman last year. His name is Apolinar Perez Vasquez. If you know where he is or have any information on the case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
All new tonight, this 7-year-old boy is beating sprinting records, and he's grabbing the attention of big names like LeBron James. Heather Lee met up with him to see his skills play out in person.
Ready. And just like that, he's off. Rudolph Ingram Jr. can make it to a finish line in no time.
Hit. Perfection.
His dad, Rudolph Ingram Sr., calls him Blaze for obvious reasons. The kid can run fast.
How old when you started training? 4?
Yeah,
we started training like around 4.
And now at age 7, he's smashing USA track and field records for his age group. His latest 100-meter dash finished in just 13.48 seconds. That's only 3.39 seconds behind the record for guys 17 to 18 years old.
It felt great. Anyways, I trained for it.
Humble yet competitive are words his dad loves to use describing him.
I have seen him lose in mid-race and just take off and get faster. Like, he does not like to feel like I'm a loser. He wants to win.
Bucks players like O.J. Howard and Mike Evans are recognizing his talents. Even LeBron James tweeting about his football skills, some saying he's the next Usain Bolt. What's your dream?
Get in the NFL.
His dad says the most important thing is allowing him to be a kid, but showing him what's possible when you don't give up.
Oh, that's my baby. I'm overly proud of him, man. You know, he makes me so proud. Like, I don't like saying it because he's my child, but I definitely feel like he does great things.
What a cute kid, too. Country legend Garth Brooks returns to the Diamond. He's joining the Pittsburgh Pirates for a week of spring training. And this isn't his first rodeo. It's actually the 4th time he's joined a team to kick off spring training. He's joined the San Diego Padres, the Mets, and the Royals. And even though he's an Okie, he says the Pirates have always been his favorite.
This is my team. I grew up with this team. With Roberto Clemente was my guy. I had his poster on my wall. The day that he died, I promised him that I'd do something with baseball and kids like he traded his life for.
And he's doing it to mark the 20th anniversary of his Teammates for Kids Foundation. It's raised more than $100 million for children's charities. It also pairs kids up with professional athletes.
All right, are you ready for another celebrity to be unmasked tomorrow night?
As Michelle Polino shows you, the judges and hosts have some hints for you.
Wow! With 6 contestants remaining on Fox's hit competition show, The Masked Singer, judges and hosts all agree this gig is much harder than they thought.
It was very challenging. You couldn't always hear the vocals very strong.
I agree.
There was a lot of yelling or talking during the clue packages. Sometimes we couldn't even hear the clue packages where we were sitting.
It was mostly me, mostly me talking over the clue packages. Like, shut up, Ken.
The energy is so amazing that you do think, like, I watch some of them at home, it's like, oh, I thought they sounded better during because you're so hype and you're cheering for them.
New clues are given before each performance, leading to this advice from the judges.
If you leave anything out, that will wind up being a clue. So I made sure that I paid attention to even like a dance move. Like, was that a clue? Or the way they're holding the microphone. I mean, I just used any possible, I was wrong 80% of the time, but looking back in hindsight, I go, oh, oh, they really do utilize every aspect of the show as clues.
The costumes never made more sense once they were revealed. No, the clues did. And, you know, some of the clues you go, oh, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, you know. But I don't think the costumes really, once we saw their faces, we go, no wonder they were a rabbit.
Please give the rabbit his props.
And as we pressed the judges to reveal everything they could say, Ken Jeong jokingly had enough.
I've shared stages, but not a one-on-one.
I say this is the Masked Singer. This is not the Mueller probe. You know, I just want to say.
In Hollywood, Michelle Polino, Fox News.
And The Masked Singer airs tomorrow night right here on Fox 4 at 9 p.m., followed by Fox 4 News at 10.
But first, you got to do your grocery shopping, right? So is organic produce worth the extra money? 4 in your corner doing the comparison shopping for you so you can make your own call.
Forget being someone's funny Valentine. How about their wonderful waffle Valentine? Yes, they're taking reservations for romance at the Waffle House.
Smothered and covered. And what is it about prison life that has convicted sex offender Bill Cosby calling it amazing?
It is amazing. A look at the Storm Smart camera from the Westin Cape Coral. Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley has a check of the forecast. It is going to be a wet one tomorrow. When and where when we come back.
Organic fruits and veggies are all the rage. Nationwide, Americans spent more than $5 billion on organic produce last year alone.
People are willing to pay more for organics, but is it worth the higher cost? Jackie Calloway walked the grocery aisles with a food expert to find out.
Organic, all natural.
So it is a USDA certified organic.
All these labels.
This one is also non-GMO certified, but it does not say it's organic.
That label, not certified by the USDA. Also not verified by the government. Any label with all natural in the title.
You notice all the labels which are really designed to get your attention.
But what does organic really mean?
It is not allowed to be genetically modified. There are no synthetic pesticides.
Dr. Jill Roberts with the USF College of Public Health says conventional produce often contains trace amounts of pesticides.
At a very small level, pesticides are not dangerous.
While organics are great for the environment, Dr. Roberts says scientific research shows you shouldn't spend the extra money if you're buying organic strictly for health reasons.
Organic is really good at handling animals humanely.
Organic meats are generally more expensive, free range, and don't contain growth hormones or antibiotics. But Dr. Roberts says it's not worth it.
When we're talking about health, there's no difference between the conventional product, this product, and this product.
If you want to buy organic, make sure the product has this USDA organic label. But Dr. Roberts says it's more important to actually flip the product over and look at the ingredients that are actually inside. You want to stick to foods that are lower in sugar and carbohydrates. I'm Jackie Calloway taking action for you.
All right, I don't know if this is organic, but nothing says romance quite like waffles, especially when they come with a side of smothered hash browns. Waffle House restaurants are now taking reservations for Valentine's Day at almost 200 locations across 21 states. And in the spirit of the holiday, the restaurant will offer a special Valentine's menu. This is the 12th year Waffle House has celebrated Valentine's Day with a special event.
They found a niche. People get married at Waffle House.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I know when I lived in Cincinnati, the White Castle had the same thing.
Oh.
So you can take your honey out for some sliders.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
I do like the White Castle. Well, you can find them in the frozen section now at Publix.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, let's get right to your forecast. Got some wet weather on the way, so we desperately need the rain, but not necessarily at the time when it's going to occur, and that's going to be for the morning commute. So that could be a little slow for you tomorrow morning if you are going to be headed to work, of course, or doing anything tomorrow morning, maybe getting an early start. You want to plan a little extra time as we're expecting a good deal of showers and maybe a few thunderstorms across the area. Nothing severe or anything like that, but a little bit of noise out there and some rain to make things a little interesting here for the start of your Wednesday. You can see the showers starting to approach now the Tampa Bay area down towards Sarasota, so it looks like parts of Sarasota County, maybe even down to coastal Charlotte County, could be seeing some rain over the next few hours. But we expect more of this to develop back into the Gulf and then eventually push our way as the front gets closer to us by late tonight into tomorrow morning. Front's not here yet, and temperatures are quite mild across the area, still in the low to mid 70s, and the dew points are high into the upper 60s to around 70, so it's a very warm and humid night across the area, and that's going to help those showers and a few thunderstorms as they move across the area, providing them with some instability and also with some moisture as well. So we expect temperatures to stay pretty much steady into the upper 60s until the rain starts, then dropping into the low 60s. And notice we kind of go down as the day goes on. I think we'll stay steady in the mid 60s through the afternoon, but by tomorrow evening, once the rain ends, we expect the temperatures to start dropping into the low 60s and eventually into the upper 50s. You can clearly see, though, where the front is back towards the west. It looks like we actually got a couple of fronts, one that's right along the I-4 corridor and then another one that is pushing through the Panhandle now, but you get the idea. The colder air is actually locked up behind this particular front here, but you see all the showers and storms developing out ahead of it, and this is what's going to be making its way into southwest Florida later on tonight into tomorrow. You can see the dip in the jet stream here, the trough that's going to supply the energy to get these showers and storms going, digging all the way down into the western Gulf, and that's one of the reasons why we're expecting a little bit of an enhancement in the rainfall here for tonight. So predictor again showing the showers and storms moving across the area through tonight into tomorrow morning. I think the wettest weather will be right around the time of your morning commute through, I'd say, mid to late morning. Then the rain should taper off pretty quickly as the afternoon goes on, but the clouds are going to stick around all day long, and as a result of that, temperatures are going to stay down. Instead of 80s for highs, we're looking at 60s for highs for tomorrow. And as far as rainfall totals, it looks like around an inch for most areas, so that will certainly help things out, but it looks like a solid inch. Maybe some spots get a little bit more than that, and then the rain should taper off here by early tomorrow afternoon. So tonight down to 64 with showers and storms developing, particularly after midnight through tomorrow morning. That'll continue through the first half of tomorrow. Highs only in the mid to upper 60s. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see the rain chances end by tomorrow evening. 53 for your morning low on Thursday for Valentine's Day. 78 for Thursday afternoon, and then around 80 for Friday into the weekend.
All right, thank you, Derek. It's a word you wouldn't expect someone to use to describe prison. Why Bill Cosby is calling his time behind bars an amazing experience.
Katy Perry facing criticism over a pair of shoes. Why this pair was pulled from her line. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Another blackface controversy has emerged. Singer Katy Perry is facing criticism over these shoes. The design resembles blackface, an offensive and racist practice. The shoes were released last summer and were available through several global retailers, including Walmart and Dillard's. Katy Perry Collections account director says the shoes have since been removed from the collection's website, and their, quote, intention was never to inflict any pain. Bill Cosby says he is having an amazing experience in Pennsylvania State Prison. In an interview, the comedian's representative revealed Cosby wakes up at 3:30 a.m. and exercises, then showers and waits for breakfast. Cosby's wife, Camille, has not visited at his request. Instead, they speak on the phone 3 times each day. Cosby's rep also refers to his time behind bars as an amazing experience despite the circumstances. He is serving a 3 to 10-year sentence on 3 sexual assault convictions from 2018.
A Florida teacher is making Black History Month way more than just a history lesson. The display that's delighting her students and getting national attention, all new next. Move over, Paul Bunyan. The American snowman that's got you beat on height. It's next on Fox 4 News.